From the sidelines to the state title, he's the heart of the Bulldogs, the mind behind the game plan, and the face of Kearney football, Coach Logan Minnick. And now, get ready for insight, highlights, and a look at what's ahead for your Kearney Bulldogs from the Bulldog Radio Network team. It's your all-access pass to Bulldog football. This is the Coach Minnick Show.
All right, that's our live studio audience. Welcome to the Coach Minnick Show. I'm your host, Mike Davis, along with producer-engineer Brian Watts, and he's having a great time today. I can tell he's got a big smile on his face. I don't know what you have to be happy about, Brian, except maybe that the Bulldogs are 5-0. Go ahead,
I was just
sir.
going to say, yeah, how about a 5-0 season?
Yeah, there you go. I like it. I like your thinking. We're, brilliant minds and all of that. Yeah. And my co-host today is the bright, talented, and lovely Kelly Gentry.
I'll take that. Good to be here.
Can a man be lovely?
Yeah,
I don't know.
I'll take it.
Well, I
Coach
know.
is lovely too.
Indeed he is, and Coach Minnick is to my right, and the namesake of this show, yes, we named the show after him because Brian couldn't come up with a name. So, yeah, I just call it the Coach Minnick Show.
Wow,
then.
under
There
the
you
bus
go.
again.
Congratulations on a terrific football game against a really good team. And I mean, North Kansas City passed the eyeball test from the very beginning. And you guys, as I said earlier, you stopped a very good football team cold. And well done. Congratulations on the 24-20 win over North Kansas City.
Yeah, huge game. So proud of our kids' effort because, again, as we talked, it's been 3 weeks here of playoff football against three really good teams, three ranked in the state teams. So I would say we're definitely battle tested. But it's been good for us because it's, all the last 3 weeks we've had a little bit of adversity at times throughout these games. So it's been really good to see how our kids, handle that and react to it. And just so proud of our effort because, again, that is a dang good football team, ranked in the top 10 in Class 6, and you can see why. They've got one of the best players in the country, not only the state and the whole country, and we did a pretty good job on him up until the last couple of minutes there, and then you just saw why, he is who he is. But again, we talked after the game, not proud of the way we finished. I thought we could have closed that thing out a little better, 24-7 with 5 minutes to go. Felt like we were in control of that game. Pretty dominant in the second half, and you let a team sneak back in there, and you can't do that against good football teams. You got to put them away. And up until last week, we've done a really good job in the fourth quarter of putting teams away. So very coachable moments in there. We've got a lot from the film. We fixed some things this week and got back to our killer instinct and being able to put teams away. So again, huge win. Again, I'm tired of playing Class 6 schools. Right. I can promise you that as well, but it's made us a better ball club for sure.
Yeah, I don't know who really sets the schedule. There has to be method to the madness. I mean, clearly, I don't think there are some schools that just wouldn't be matched up against the same schools we've faced.
Right.
I understand. We appreciate being considered as one who has to face a couple of Class 6 teams, and then we're about to face Grain Valley, who's a really good Class 5. And of course, we started against Fort Osage. But all that to say, somewhere along the line, you think, can we coast a little bit? I mean, is there a chance? From the looks of things, maybe a couple of them, but I don't see it. I mean, you're going to have to fight your way through the end of this schedule.
Yeah, this will be the fourth week in a row that we're playing a team that's ranked in the top 10 in their class. So no breaks. But again, we're in the meat of this schedule, and we knew going in this year that this would be the stretch where you got to play a lot of football and try to stay healthy. And we're a little dinged in a couple spots, which when you play the schedule we have, that's going to happen. But I'm so proud of the kids that have stepped in. 4 starters that have played. It was great to have Mason back finally last week. Thought he played huge, and getting him back into playing shape would be good for us. And again, thought Sawyer Ritter stepped in and did a really good job for Beaumar last week. Matt Lindsay kind of got his first start at running back and did some really good things with the ball in his hands. So next man up mentality, and I thought our kids handled that really well.
Well, Coach, one of the things that was pretty exciting, it's the third week in a row that you've had kind of the spotlight on Kearney football in terms of being one of the Metro games of the week from different outlets. We were able to share the booth with former Chiefs player Danon Hughes and the Spectrum team, and it was interesting talking to them. They're very familiar with several of the Kearney players. They already knew about the Kearney guys. They were asking us questions about that. Just talk a little bit about the coverage and the attention that the players are getting because of the successful seasons that they've had.
Yeah, it's been crazy. You know, being on TV is always fun. I was nervous. I've never lost when we've had a Spectrum game. I'm 6-0 on TV. So
really? Okay.
I was a little nervous there because didn't want to break that streak.
Yeah.
But at the same time, so cool for our kids. You know, anytime we can get them some publicity, and I think it shows. You know, we've got some really good players, and anytime we can showcase that, we're excited. And we talked about it after the game. That North Kansas City Stadium is one of the coolest stadiums around in the state of Missouri. You know, it's got no track. It's still got the old brick walls. If you're on our sideline, there's about 4 yards of sideline, and then the fans are right on top of you. Talked about when you're coaching the kids on the bench, the parents are leaned over the rail closer to you than the kids are. So you're over there chewing a little butt, and you look up, and Dad's like, "Yeah, get him," you know. Crazy environment, and as you guys saw, it was so cool how many good players there were. I bet there were 12 college coaches on the sidelines recruiting kids. So just excited for our kids, great opportunity for our kids, and a really cool environment there and a huge ball game.
Terrific job, too. The first score of the game was a Drew Nelson 40-yard field goal. And as we all saw, that would become increasingly more valuable toward the end of the game. And but just that's not a chip shot for a high school player. And he just booted it just right between the uprights, right where you want it. And man, he couldn't have aimed it any better.
Yeah, pretty crazy. You know, he's started off the year 0-2 on a couple short ones, which we've been working on and got that cleaned up. And we still have confidence in Drew. Anywhere from 50 in, he can bang it through there. And it was kind of funny. Coach Wendell, our special teams coordinator, is like, I don't think we ever even kicked a 40-yarder with Jacob Dillon when we had Jacobs. Oh, yeah. He goes, I was like, well, it was 4th and 22 or whatever it was. Yeah. You know, we weren't going to go at that point. And again, pregame, he looked good. He made plus 50 in pregame. The ball was coming out of his foot well, and we got confidence in him to make it anywhere at that point. So then huge shout out on that team as well to Co and Dre and Brad Dahl for the operation on that. That's been 2 years for those two with Brad and Co on that. So our operation time on that's pretty good. So you got to be quick to get those long field goals off, especially. And so shout out to those guys.
Well, and Drew also 3 for 3 on point after attempts, so scoring 6 points in the game from the kicker position. And it was just a huge week for special forces, honestly, special teams play. Another kicker, you've got another kicker that does the kickoffs, and Grant just executed a perfect onside kick as well. Yeah,
it was kind of funny. Coach Brinkley on the head said, like, you're going to do that in this big of a game? Absolutely. You know, if they're going to bail out of there on kickoff return, we're going to take advantage. You guys have seen it. You know, every year we've got a couple of those built in there. And, you know, if they're cheating out of there to get a return and you're going to give it to us, we're going to take it. And huge shout out to Grant Bogert because perfectly executed kick. You know, we rep the heck out of that in practice and did a really good job with it and wish we could have capitalized on it. You know, the first 2 drives were 2 red zone trips and you come away with 3 points. And that is not Kearney football, or that's not the way we've, operated. So, the game could have been and should have been much more in control than what it was. Going into half, you're up 10-7 and feel like it should have been 28-7 or somewhere in there. So, something we got to clean up there, but we've had a really good week of practice and working on some of those things.
When you see a kicker take a football and kick it in such a manner that it looks like he's walking his dog through the park.
Yep.
And, a football is not built to do that.
Yep.
And it was magical to see, and I could hardly believe my eyes, Kelly, when we saw it, and we thought, that's 10 yards. we got the football.
Yeah,
You know?
and we watched, it surprised us too, and I know you didn't end up scoring. We were laughing about it. I mean, it was just perfectly executed. There was nobody from North Kansas City even close to the ball. And then, even though you didn't get the points, we were saying it's pretty demoralizing for the other team.
Yes.
Their defense has just held you. You go, or you get the field goal, then you get the ball right back there, right back on the field. So even if you don't score,
You burn up the clock.
and
Yeah.
it's demoralizing for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and really fun for us watching it on the replay in film because you see their defensive coordinator. As soon as we recover it, just you can see him on the sideline, and then their special teams coordinator is just screaming at him, and you can tell he's like, "I told you, I told you."
That's great.
But those are always fun when you're on the other end of those.
Yes,
Right.
yes.
Because I know there's been times where I've been doing the same thing, but yeah, perfectly executed. And we're not scared to do that at any point. And for a couple reasons, we practice the heck out of it, and we have confidence in our defense if it doesn't work out. But again, if you're not going to honor that thing, we're going to kick it there, and you guys have seen that several times over these last 4 years.
Before I forget it, I want to mention Ashton Brengus, who is one of the newer faces in the secondary. And he did something really big, because I remember I listened to the replay, and we called his name. I just don't remember what it was. But great job by him, and he seems to be getting better each week. And I just wanted to make sure that we recognized him today.
Yep, getting better and better every week. First-year starter at safety. He's played corner and receiver prior, so kind of his first year playing safety as well. And huge props to him. Gave up a big touchdown in the Park Hill game. Then he was lights out from that point forward. So he's getting better and better at that every day, getting a lot more confidence. He's getting really comfortable in that spot. And again, so come playoff time, he's going to be a legitimate safety back there. So we're excited for him. And again, as you said, he's getting better and better and better every week.
Yeah, he had a couple of big breakups in the game, and North Kansas City had some speedy receivers.
Sure
I know one of the plays that we were talking about, him breaking up a ball or staying right stride for side with one of their receivers. Coach, before we leave the special teams, I did want to mention too, you also had a blocked field goal.
Yep.
I can't remember, was that Mason?
Yep.
Or so you did have a blocked field goal that prevented them from scoring as well.
Yeah, and huge play at that point because that made it a 4-point game instead of 3.
Right.
With them having the opportunity, if they get the onside, they have scored a touchdown instead of tie it with 3 points.
Right.
So that was huge, and we worked that all week. We called their field goal team a leaky faucet. They've had little leaks all year, so it was time for somebody to break through and get one. And props to our defense for making that play because sometimes when the other team scores, your defense is demoralized and they just want to let them kick the extra point and get off the field. We always tell our kids that's time to especially in a big game, 1 point can be the difference at times, and so proud of those guys of going and getting one.
I want to call out number 0, Aiden Ariano. A couple of times we watched him come from the far side of the field to the near side and destroy the ball carrier or potential ball carrier. And man, is he ever fast, and does he pack a wallop on contact. And we saw it more than once, but it was so impressive because he came from the other side of the football field and just shut the play down.
Yeah, I mean, he's an okay football player.
You want to be a big head.
Yeah, we're just, he's got a lot of supporting cast around him, so it helps him out a lot. No, phenomenal football player. We've talked about his speed all the time. Track kid, runs really well and when he gets there with bad intentions. He will put it on you. And such a tough kid. You guys didn't even know this. He caught a short kickoff. Ran it back to midfield, comes off, he dislocated his pinky, it's sitting sideways out here.
Oh, no, I didn't know that.
As he's jogging off the field, resets it himself and is ready to go in the game, and Owen's like, at least let me tape it. He's trying to run back in the game. So you want to talk tough. That kid put it back in himself, and I didn't even know it until after the game.
Mercy.
My God.
They're like, it's pinky. I was like, I didn't even know.
I heard that down on the field after our interviews, and I can't remember who mentioned it, but I
think it was Eric, maybe. I can't remember.
That sounds horrible.
I remember the return, though. It was a big play.
Yeah.
Big play on that. So, wow, that is crazy. Well, Maybe it was the bad intentions, because I thought there was a play that he made a really good tackle on their quarterback. It was inside the field of play, but they called a 15-yard penalty, and I was really we saw it right away. We were like, no, he was inbounds, but the kid went flying. I will say that.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yes.
So
Yeah. We're not going to apologize for them putting their kicking net right next to the field. That was a 100% inbounds legal hit, and it was vicious. And that kid did end up in the fence in the kicking net. But it's not. I'm still a little angry about that, because that would have made it 4th and 15 or 17 somewhere in there. And instead of get a free 15, a first down on a perfectly legal hit inbounds, our kids are doing 100% what they were supposed to be doing. And there were, not to make excuses, and you guys know referees make calls, but they had 2 15-yard penalties in those last 5 minutes that extended drives or gave them first downs that weren't penalties.
Yeah.
And that's really frustrating, because our kids are like, what do we do? You don't do anything. That's, officiating's part of it. They're going to make some mistakes, but God dang it, 2 15-yard mistakes in the same 5-minute window is it's a little rough on us.
Well, in particular, when you talk about how you've clearly gained the full momentum of the football game, and we're standing up there, we're relaxing. I think I picked up a slice of pizza, and I was actually kind of sneaking pizza bites in between calls. And we were, and then all of a sudden, this thing, after those, calls, you're seeing the, 2 scores that all of a sudden change, the whole complexion of the game. But you hate to end it like that. But yeah, I'll let it go. But since we brought it up, I rolled that video footage backward and forward and slowly, and there is no doubt that tackle was well inbounds. In fact, the hash marks on the sideline, or I don't know, a couple of feet or so,
Yep.
It was well before those marks. So we're not even talking about a questionable distance to the boundary.
Yeah,
And
it was-
holy smokes. And now we saw the hit, and it was another just one of those, just amazing.
Bodies flying.
Yeah. So, yeah, go ahead, Kelly.
I was going to say, the on the physical side of it that we were talking about, and you said something about tough as nails. The defensive line, I don't know how you graded them out. It felt like a very complete game. From, of course, you had Mason come back this week, but also Clayton Cowan looked like he was really healthy.
Yeah.
But I mean, that was a good offensive line for North Kansas City, and they were just disruptive the entire night.
Yeah, that's an offense that was averaging over 300 yards rushing a game, and I can tell you how well our defensive line played. We stayed in 2 high safeties the entire game. And you should not be able to stop the run with a 6 and 7 man box, and we did it all night, and we had to, because as you guys mentioned, they had 2 really, really dang good receivers as well. So we were trying to, stay over the top on those guys at the same time as having those safeties fit in the run game. But yes, so D-line and the linebacking core was dominant, because they were a hat short in the run game and still shut that team down. That team was averaging 58 points a game.
Right.
And should have ended with 7. We give them 20, but still a third of what they had been averaging. So huge defensive effort, and we talk about it all the time. We're gonna play good defense here at Kearney, and it keeps us in games, and it wins us a lot of ball games.
Right. Field position was good for you all the other night, too. And I would say Kobe Rhymes, everybody on the planet knows who that guy is by now. But the other one that was really had a great game the other night was number 21, Samuel Zena, who's a junior, by the way.
Yep.
And they've got him listed at 5'9", 186, and that just seems wrong, like undersized.
He's played bigger than that.
He's a load. We're going to take a break, and we'll come back and talk more about the North Kansas City win, and then we'll talk, obviously, about the Grain Valley game coming up tomorrow night. Stay with us. You're watching The Coach Minnick Show. The air you breathe inside your home plays a critical role in your overall health and wellness. Harmful contaminants like asbestos, lead, and mold
or hidden hazards that can be lurking in your home or office. Since 2013, the indoor air quality experts at EcoSafe Environmental Services have been detecting and eliminating harmful contaminants, improving indoor air quality, and creating safe, healthy living spaces. You can learn more at 816-598-4111 or at ecosafekc.com. You deserve a healthy home. Stay safe with EcoSafe.
Hey, Outlaw Jim here to tell you about NexTran GMC. Are you tired of confusing prices with advertised rebates that you don't qualify for? And what are all those extra fees added on at the end? At NexTran GMC, they believe buying your next vehicle should be simple and straightforward. Their transparent buying process is designed to save you time and money with no surprises. It's easy, it's honest, and it's all for you. Visit them at nextrangmc.com or take a short drive on 435. They don't just look different than other dealers, they are.
Reagan National Airport outside Washington, D.C. were shut down for hours tonight. It comes after American Airlines says a plane blew out several tires after landing.
Flight 1551 blew one of its tires during takeoff.
4 tires blew out.
A disabled aircraft on the runway can easily shift from a simple inconvenience to an airport operations nightmare. The unfortunate outcome can often lead to a complete airport closure and, in some cases, significant airport financial losses. The solution is easy: Planescape. Planescape was designed as a simple, innovative method of removing disabled aircraft from your runway, quickly, safely, and efficiently. Planescape is manufactured for both civilian and military aircraft. The sturdy design makes quick work of moving everything from corporate jets, turboprops, large, medium, and small piston twins, and almost every single-engine aircraft, including tailwheel and warbirds. Planescape is extremely versatile and easy to use on multiple airport surfaces. Planescape traverses large runway cracks, sand, dirt, and gravel with ease. Potholes, ice, snow, and grass are no challenge to Planescape's mobility. And best of all, in most cases, you can clear a runway in less than 15 minutes with Planescape. Now that's a game changer that'll keep your runway open. Discover more about keeping your airport operations running smoothly. Visit Planescape.com and keep that runway open.
Dings, dents, or a full-on fender bender. When life happens to your car, you can trust the team that's been fixing it right for over 40 years. At CarStar Porter's Kearney Body Shop, expert collision repair, precision paint matching, and detailing come standard with customer care that goes the extra mile. CarStar Porter's Kearney Body Shop, 816-628-5621, or you can stop in for a repair estimate at 104 West Main Street in Kearney. CarStar Porter's Kearney Body Shop, where your car gets the care it deserves.
Kelly Gentry here for KMO-TV from North Kansas City High School. Kearney moves to 5-0 on the season, beating North Kansas City 24-20, joined by senior defensive lineman Clayton Cowan. We call him Uncle Clay here at KMO. And the first question I had for you, Clayton, was tonight, just coming into a big environment, a lot of media outlets covering this game, 2 undefeated teams, both ranked in the top 10 in the Metro. Talk to us a little bit about playing in this big environment here tonight.
I mean, I think we were a little nervous in general, but I think it obviously took us a while to settle in. But we knew we had it, you know. We performed well, obviously, especially after halftime. We definitely took control pretty much.
You sure did, and one thing that's been happening all year, the Kearney defense comes into the game only allowing 10 points a game. Talk to us a little bit about, as one of our senior leaders, the pride that you're taking to holding these teams under that low of a scoring margin.
I mean, it's exciting that, you know, being a senior leader, me and the Beavers control the line, and we are coaching up the youngins and preparing them for the future, and they're taking us as, you know, good examples.
You mentioned the Beaver twins. We got Mason back tonight with the 3 of you guys up front. It's got to be one of the top defensive lines in the state of Missouri. Talk about the pride that you guys take in that unit.
Oh, shoot. We are so excited to have everybody back, and we've been waiting for this for, what is it, week 5 now? Shoot, man, it was exciting to go out there and perform with all of them, man. It was great.
Well, and I know you've really been working hard to come back from a bit of an injury yourself. Talk to us a little bit about that. Are you feeling 100% now?
Oh, I feel great now. I mean, week 1 I had I dislocated my kneecap, but I think it's fully back. It's good. Mason's good. I think we're ready. I think we're ready for the rest of the year.
Well, we could sure tell it from the performance tonight. Mike, Jim, and I were calling your name all night tonight. Congratulations on going 5-0. Kelly Gentry here with Clayton Cowan from North Kansas City High School. Kearney, 24-20 over North Kansas City.
All right, welcome back to the show, Coach. How much fun did you see Clayton Cowan just light up when Kelly asked him about having another couple of players back on the defensive line? Man, he lit up.
Yeah, and I think Clayton's one that gets overshadowed a bunch because you've got the 2 Beaver brothers, but he's an outstanding football player, and at times he doesn't get all the credit he should because he's one of those defensive ends that does the dirty work. Like he's spilling pullers, he's cutting, he's just in the dirty, gritty, stuff that doesn't always get stats. He's freeing up the linebackers to run, puts his body on the line. Very similar. We call him Uncle Clay because he's actually Aiden Smith's uncle from a couple years ago. Kind of a weird dynamic there, but so he's been Uncle Clay on that. But just so proud of his effort, and as he said, he's been banged up from time to time. And I know I've used this reference before. He's kind of like, have you ever seen The Wizard of Oz where they're putting straw back into the scarecrow? That's kind of what we do with Clay when it comes to the sideline. Now, we have had to up our athletic tape budget this year because I think Owen just tapes him back together. We bubble wrap him and we throw him back in there. But tough kid because he's played through some bumps and bruises. And you said, kid dislocates his kneecap week 1 and is back playing week 3. And if you look out there, though, he is like the bionic man with all his contraptions he has on his knees and his arms and all the tape. But I like to call him, he's a glue guy. He's the guy that, holds that defensive line together. We built the defense around that defensive line, and what a fun kid, as well. And
yes, you could see him light up.
Yeah. He's been wanting to do that. I know he's been wanting to do that. So excited for him. I saw several edits in there too, so we're gonna have to give him a little crap about.
That was on me.
Oh, that was Kelly's fault. Even better.
Even better, yeah.
But no, outstanding kid, outstanding young man, and a huge part of that defense.
Terrific job by him. And one of the things that I think I started noticing him last year, and he was number 47 last year too, as I recall. And there was a point at which I started recognizing that number 47 is Clayton because he just seemed like one of those hidden players that he was doing his job, but it just didn't show up.
Right.
Or he might have been at the bottom of a pile or some one thing or another. I have no doubt in my mind now who number 47 is, and I can tell you since the beginning of the year, but for the injuries, when he's out on the field, I know that guy is in there and he is getting dirty. And I mean, he's hitting people.
Yeah, and he had a huge sack to close out the game as well. And didn't Aiden wear 47, Coach? Was that the same number? Okay, I thought so too. He had a pretty good role model to look to.
Yeah, no doubt. Class 4 Defensive Player of the Year in 2023. So
exactly.
But yeah, and funny they both play the same position and they're very similar in the way they play football too. And want to give another shout out too on the defensive line. Connor Dampier played his tail off and. He's that hybrid outside backer defensive end type kid, but as you guys saw, we pretty much ran our forefront a majority of the game. So Connor walks down and he's basically a defensive end, the entire time, and he was taking on blocks and spillers and doing a great job there. And proud of him. We mentioned him the week before in the Park Hill game. They're empty and spread every single down. He didn't get to play at all. This week they're 80% run and they want to run at you. Back in the game he goes and played lights out and played really well. And another unselfish kid that doesn't get a lot of stats in there because he is freeing up those guys to run. Like Hayden Ariano will be the first one to tell you he loves playing behind that defensive line because they very seldom get to him because they've got to try to handle that front four. And if they don't, that front four is going to make plays. And if they double them all, you can't get to Hayden. So it's a good mix between the D-line and having those linebackers behind them.
I don't have the stats in front of me of the Kobe Rhymes carries. I know I won't call them junk yards, but they were in the fourth quarter. But and there were plays. We can talk about that too. But I think you look at a defense that stops a. This guy has had offers from Kobe. Has had offers from Penn State and Ohio State. These are the elite schools in college football. And this Kearney Bulldog defense did such a great job of bottling up that offense that has been so explosive. And one of the reasons I think is that your guys, we talked about tackling last week from the standpoint of safety, but sure tackling. And I mean, wrapping guys up and doing fundamentally the things that it takes to bring a guy down, especially a load like Kobe Rhymes.
Yeah.
And number 21 too, Samuel Zena, who's a terrific athlete, did a marvelous job, and you can tell that guy is going to be good, and he is already good.
Yeah, two phenomenal backs, two of the better backs we've seen all year, and and we take a lot of pride in gang tackling and getting everyone to the football, and because it took 2 or 3 guys, to get him on the ground, and that's when you play really good players like that, that's what happens. But yes, he is a phenomenal player. I told him after the game, he's the first or second linebacker on Oregon's board, and as you guys know, best friends with head coach out there at Oregon. So the first thing I said to him was like, "Hey, you need to go be a Duck." So I'm trying to push him that way because he would be a phenomenal player for those guys out there as well. And funny though, as physical and as great as that kid is, we have a unbelievable picture of. We've got a pretty good kid that plays quarterback as well. That's a big athlete.
Yeah,
right.
There's a 3-picture sequence of Carter running, stiff arming him flat to his back, running through the middle of the defense. So, Kobe Rhymes is a pretty good player, but we've got some Division I talent too that's dang physical, and that's awesome picture because he almost looks Heisman-ish. Yes. And there's the stiff arm. There's Kobe Rhymes on his back, and Carter's still running. So. We've got some kids that are pretty hard to tackle as well.
That was an incredible run. I absolutely remember that run, and we mentioned it on the broadcast that Carter stiff-armed him to the ground. And
that was a quarterback club's footage, I think. That shows that compiled that. Great job on that, by the way. And that was, you could say. I mean, we say it every week, but of course I'm the president of his fan club, but Carter Temple had a terrific night. Okay, that's not even news. I know. Everybody knows. And you've come to expect it. But I guess it seemed like that. Yeah, we haven't left you out, Carter.
We're moving.
We're getting there.
We're getting there.
In fact, let's just go there. Yeah.
Well, and the thing, you mentioned the physicality of Carter. And when I stand next to Carter, and like when I was in high school, he would have been like a linebacker or like a defensive end. He's 6'3", 225, and you just see the physicality when he runs the ball as well as the athleticism. There were a couple of drop back, he went to drop back, nobody open. He was making people miss all over the place running the ball, so he's kind of got the power and the athleticism.
Yeah, it's funny on the headset. I've got Hall of Fame coach Mike Hedricks up there in the box helping us offensively, and when Carter scrambles or whatever, he's like, see, just let him be the guy. Just let him be the guy. Let him do his thing. And it makes us look like really good coaches. Because when he makes those plays, it's like, see that, boys? That's all coaching right there. And it's crazy to say it, but he's getting better every week, guys. I told him on that touchdown throw to Cale Tucking, that was next level quarterback play. It was 4th and 6. We tell him, we call the timeout and said, hey, we're going to throw the hitch here for first down unless it's covered. You're going to hitch to the corner route. And I said, and if neither's open, you'll have Cale down the seam late, and it's when you watch the video, you can see him. He catches, his eyes go to the hitch, it's covered. He checks the corner out, doesn't like it, comes back, resets his feet, and throws an absolute dart.
Yeah.
Huge play. You know, that we don't get that. We go in half down 7-3.
Yeah.
But that was a Division I next level quarterback, read it out throw, and absolute dime. And what a catch by Kale on that.
Oh, my gosh, yes.
And Kale only gets to play so many offensive plays, so takes advantage of when the ball is in his hands. So huge shout out to both those guys. But, yeah, Carter Temple's playing at a really high level right now. And that makes me a really good coach.
They said 125 yards, and then Hendricks had 64. And if I do math, and they said there'd be no math, but that's 189 total, right? Is that right?
Just between those two guys.
Yeah, and yet I think up here that somebody didn't give him full credit for that. But whatever. Carter Temple with what did I say? A buck and a quarter.
Yeah.
I mean, that's your quarterback. You know, I mean, wow.
Yeah,
and throw in that beautiful pass you just described.
Yeah, anytime you got to account for the quarterback in the run game, that's tough as a defensive coach because it's an additional hat you usually don't count when you're, you know, how many guys you have in the box, how many of that. And then huge shout out to our backs as well, you know, blocking for Carter on those plays because they tell them sometimes they turn into fullbacks and, you know, they do their thing there. And speaking of stiff arms, Dryden Hendricks there right before that touchdown
was sweet.
He stiff armed that kid through the turf. Yes. One of those, you know, grown man. That was on the night news too as well. So that was a stiff arm, boys. That kid may still be laying there. I'm not sure, but
yeah, we usually say you either slip a tackle or you stiff armed, and I think that was 2 stiff arms in a row, and one of them was for real. I mean, that was for keeps.
Well, while we're talking about it, that was our play of the game. Carter to Kale on the touchdown pass. Do you have that ready, Brian?
Here we go.
Empty backfield, 3 receivers split to the near side, 2 to the far. Carter Temple surveys the defense and now takes the snap, dropping back, looking to pass, looking right, looking left, looking center, in the end zone, wide open, touchdown.
Oh, beautiful.
That was Kale Tucking wide open in the end zone, and that is going to be a 23-yard touchdown pass.
Kale Tucking was in stride when he caught that ball, and he caught it in textbook style with his hands right out in front of him.
Super job that time by Kale Tucking running that route. Carter put a dime right on him, and we know Tucking's got speed. Coach talks, he's sub 4.6.
All right, we're going to take a break here in a minute, but Coach, that is the kind of footage that is going to, if coaches aren't already seeing, you know, the talent on this team, they're going to start seeing it. College coaches, I mean.
Yeah, he's already been offered from North Dakota. Their head coach was on the sideline for that, so I'm sure he was like, "Hey, don't do that," so other coaches, you know, don't see that kind of talent. But yeah, he's a next level kid, and you know, for the longest time, everybody just said, "Oh, he's just a runner." You know, we didn't throw it a ton as a sophomore, and you know, we can throw it and run it at any point, and it's kind of pick your poison. At times you load the box, we're gonna throw it, and if you give us a light box, you've got to tackle him. So he's playing at a really high level.
And if that's not enough, Coach, he also averaged 48 yards punting, I've noticed. I was like, he can do it all, literally. Yeah. So
let's take a break. That is,
okay,
I'd forgotten about that. We'll be right back. Stay with us for more on the Coach Minnick Show.
The air you breathe inside your home plays a critical role in your overall health and wellness. Harmful contaminants like asbestos, lead, and mold are hidden hazards that can be lurking in your home or office. Since 2013, the indoor air quality experts at EcoSafe Environmental Services have been detecting and eliminating harmful contaminants, improving indoor air quality, and creating safe, healthy living spaces. You can learn more at 816-598-4111 or at ecosafekc.com. You deserve a healthy home. Stay safe with EcoSafe.
Hey, Outlaw Jim here to tell you about NextTran GMC. Are you tired of confusing prices with advertised rebates that you don't qualify for? And what are all those extra fees added on at the end? At NextTran GMC, they believe buying your next vehicle should be simple and straightforward. Their transparent buying process is designed to save you time and money with no surprises. It's easy, it's honest, and it's all for you. Visit them at nexttrangmc.com or take a short drive on 435. They don't just look different than other dealers, they are.
Reagan National Airport outside Washington, D.C. were shut down for hours tonight. It comes after American Airlines says a plane blew out several tires after landing.
Flight 1551 blew one of its tires during takeoff.
4 tires blew out.
A disabled aircraft on the runway can easily shift from a simple inconvenience to an airport operations nightmare. The unfortunate outcome can often lead to a complete airport closure and, in some cases, significant airport financial losses. The solution is easy: Planesgate. Planesgate was designed as a simple, innovative method of removing disabled aircraft from your runway, quickly, safely, and efficiently. Planesgate is manufactured for both civilian and military aircraft. The sturdy design makes quick work of moving everything from corporate jets, turboprops, large, medium, and small piston twins, and almost every single-engine aircraft, including tailwheel and warbirds. Planesgate is extremely versatile and easy to use on multiple airport surfaces. Planesgate traverses large runway cracks, sand, dirt, and gravel with ease. Potholes, ice, snow, and grass are no challenge to Planesgate's mobility. And best of all, in most cases, you can clear a runway in less than 15 minutes with Planesgate. Now that's a game changer that'll keep your runway open. Discover more about keeping your airport operations running smoothly. Visit Planesgate.com and keep that runway open.
Dings, dents, or a full-on fender bender. When life happens to your car, you can trust the team that's been fixing it right for over 40 years. At CarStar Porter's Kearney Body Shop, expert collision repair, precision paint matching, and detailing come standard with customer care that goes the extra mile. CarStar Porter's Kearney Body Shop, 816-628-5621, or you can stop in for a repair estimate at 104 West Main Street in Kearney. CarStar Porter's Kearney Body Shop, where your car gets the care it deserves.
Kelly Gentry here from North Kansas City High School. Kearney wins 24-20 in a game of 2 undefeated teams, joined by junior linebacker and running back for tonight, Cale Tucking. And Cale, first thing I wanted to talk to you about, a big environment here, a lot of media attention. Talk to us a little bit about what you guys experienced tonight playing in this big game here in the Kansas City metro area tonight.
Yeah, we knew this is a complete different environment from home. You know, there's no track. It's very tight. Sidelines were packed. The crowd was loud. You know, complete different environment. But we were able to adapt and execute from those changes. But yeah, completely different. It was a great experience. Definitely probably wouldn't want to do it again, but it was awesome to experience it just once. And the turf was great, so can't complain about that.
A good environment here all the way around. Well, we're used to calling your name on defense, which we did do tonight, you and your twin brother, 2 of our linebackers. Talk to us a little bit about what you guys were able to do. The Kearney defense only allowing 10 points per game here on the season and going to 5-0. Talk to us about your defensive unit and the pride you take being the linebacker on the defensive unit.
Being part of the linebackers is awesome, you know. Being part of that group, I didn't expect it coming into the year. I always had it in the back of my mind, but never expected it to actually happen. But, you know, it's a good thing and a bad thing. I'm always able to play offense when they need me, but playing defense is cool too. Being able to hit someone, you know, put the thud on someone, it's always fun. Even though I'm not as aggressive as, you know, Aiden Ariano, but I know I still hit someone.
Well, you definitely did deliver some blows tonight. I tell you, I wanted to talk to you. You got your chance tonight on the offensive end. We know you're an offensive, talented player. Made a big-time catch for Kearney's first score on a 30-plus yard touchdown pass from Carter. Talk to us a little bit about what you were able to do on that play and on the offensive side of the ball tonight.
Yeah, they said number 3 receiver, you want to run a seam right up the middle. Well, I saw single high safety right in front of me, so I stepped him outside, made my move inside, and I knew as soon as I made my break I was going to have him burnt, and me and Carter just connected, and it was a great way to score.
It sure was. Well, tremendous job on that. You also do a lot in our special teams, special forces unit as well. You've got a big game against Grain Valley next week. Game will be at home. What are you expecting for that game?
Grain Valley, last year they were big, physical. The running back was the dude last year. I'm not sure if he'll be back or not, but he was a stud. We were able to put the thump on him this year, but any dudes they have, we're just hoping to put a stop to them and play our game.
Kelly Gentry here from North Kansas City High School with Cale Tucking. Kearney goes 5-0 by defeating the Hornets 24-20.
All right, Cale Tucking, that is a dude right there. He referred to a dude from last year on Grain Valley. No, Cale Tucking is a dude. So let's just be clear about it. And he sort of gave it up a little bit for Aiden Ariano, yes, who is also a dude. But I don't want to be hit by either one of those guys. I mean, they absolutely bring it. But while we've got it here, Brian, Cale Tucking is our Conrad's player of the game. And just a terrific job on offense and playing some defense as well. The incredible catch in the end zone, which was just a terrific, oh my gosh, picturesque play that will go down in history. And, we love history. I'm living history. I am history. Let's see. Okay, we definitely want to get to Grain Valley.
Anything on Cale first before we do it? But yeah.
Yeah, as you guys know, what a good football player. And when I say football player, I mean football player. He catches punts. He plays linebacker. He kicked an extra point week 2.
Yeah. Forgot about that.
Kid can do it all, and I know deep down in his heart, he wants to play offense more than he wants to play defense. But at the same time, and understand that. And he understands it's what's best for the team right now is for him to play linebacker and start there, and is doing that. And you'll see more and more, as the season goes, getting more offensive touches because he is absolutely electric with the ball in his hand. And Coach Backus, our offensive coordinator, in my head said, we need some more 3 on the offense. We need some more number 3. I'm like, I know, but we need him on defense right now too. So yeah, you'll see him sprinkled in more and more, and because again, it's kind of we're kind of blessed with the amount of running backs and versatile running backs that they're not true running backs. They can line up at receiver. They can line up on defense. We've got just some really, really good football players, and he's definitely one of those type kids.
Well, from the looks of things, you've got, I would say, at least 3 players who could be wide receivers who are running backs.
Right.
And, obviously, we just talked about Cale, and I think that we talked about Matthew Lindsay, who I think from the very beginning we saw signs of a guy that could be a wide out. Just great hands. And, of course, Dryden Hendricks has been doing it all year. In fact, I think we saw him do it in the pregame thing. I can never remember what you call it.
The jamboree.
The jamboree, yes. Yeah. And he just, it's like, wow, that guy's a natural. And in fact, he made the one-handed catch about 6 yards downfield and carried it another 3 or 4 yards. But what great guys to have in your backfield, on your offense in general, because they can do anything.
Yeah, and I guarantee you Carter Temple loves that.
Right.
We can line up in empty, and we can line up in double tight, 3 backs, all with the same personnel on the field. That just shows how versatile our athletes are and where we can put kids, and it makes us really hard to defend for sure.
Coach, one thing I just wanted to highlight really quick, because the offensive line did such a great job against a tough North Kansas City defensive line. Just really impressed with that. Had someone step in with an injury. We talked about that earlier. One of my favorite moments so far on the year is you ran out on the field and chest bumped a couple of the offensive linemen after one of the series. I just thought that was really cool.
Yeah, that drive to go down and make it 24-7. We were flip-flopping Nick Balabre back and forth on the other line, and we were running it right behind Nick over and over and over. So when he was coming off the field, yeah, we got a big grown man chest bump there. I said something along the lines of "you frickin' stallion" or something closely related to that, and he was. And you know, I call him Seabiscuit all the time. We rode him like Seabiscuit all the way down there, and. But yeah, and that ding there knocked the wind out of me. He's not little Nick Balabre anymore. That's a grown man chest bump there, and I was winded just from that little bit of a jump there. So, but yeah, phenomenal player, doing a great job, and shout out to the whole line. You know, I know we already mentioned Story Ritter stepping in there for Bomar last week, and did a great job, and that's his first time ever playing tackle as well. He's always been a guard for us and stepped out and played tackle. And as you guys saw, we mentioned on that touchdown pass that Carter threw, that pocket is beautiful. He doesn't have anyone around him. Gives him time to go through his progression and make that throw. So, yeah, huge shout-out to our line. They're playing really well right now.
Well, regardless of the score, I think as we talked about earlier, you beat an incredibly good team that is, I think, North Kansas City will go deep into the playoffs. And I think their arrow is pointing upward, except for when they played Kearney. And so that's hats off to you, Coach. Great job.
Yeah, I feel bad for Grandview that they play this week because they're going to go in there angry. I can promise that. And so they'll get back to their winning ways. And, yes, I expect them. They're still a top 10 ranked team in Class 6. Yeah. So, yeah, and Kansas City this year in Class 6 is loaded. I mean, loaded. It'll be interesting to see who comes through that, because there's about 6 teams that anyone could go play for it out of the metro area. So that'll be exciting to see. And those guys, especially as you look down the roster, they're all juniors. So that's when I told their head coach after the game, yeah, it's time to get off our schedule. Yeah. Because we'll get a new one next year. So hopefully they're not on that thing. But if they are, it'll be another battle for sure.
All right. Grain Valley's coaching staff is the Preps KC Staff of the Week. They're obviously doing something right, and we saw them last year. The good news is we get them at home, but let's talk about that group at Grain Valley.
Yeah, Grain Valley every year, one of the best teams on our schedule. They're so well coached. Dave Valley, their head coach, I'm not sure if he's in the Hall of Fame yet, but will be a Hall of Fame, head coach on that staff. And every year those guys play us well, and they were in our conference when I was at Raytown, and then we would play them in the district championship every year as well. So very, very familiar with Dave Valley and their head coach and their staff, and the things they do. And we've had battles. I mean, battles. My last year there at Raytown, they beat us in triple overtime for the district championship. We went for 2 and didn't get it. But so we've had some absolute battles with those guys. Tough game last year, if you guys remember. It was 21-6 with a minute to go, and we stuck one in late to make it, 29-6. But they play us well every year. They remind me very much of a Smithfield team. They're super disciplined. They play really hard. They're physical. And they're not going to beat themselves. So you've got to play a really good game and a clean game, and understand that because they're so well coached defensively, and they're that team, they're bend, don't break type defense. So you've got to just be happy moving the chains and controlling the ball, and because there's not going to be a lot of big plays because of the way they play defense. So you've got to go in with the mindset that 4 yards is a great thing, and 4 yards is a great thing, and take advantage of when you can spread the football out. And but again, and there you guys will see their nose guard this week's the best defensive lineman we've seen, and is an absolute monster. So we'll be throwing 2 and 3 hats at him, but he's going to make some plays, and he's going to make some plays in the backfield. And you guys will see he is. I think he got second in state as a heavyweight wrestler last year. So he grown man. So. Somebody we've got to definitely try to neutralize in there. But at the same time, he's going to make some plays. And when he's disruptive, it makes everyone else around him better. So Definitely somebody we've got to concentrate on, because when you do double him, they've got 3 phenomenal linebackers that are going to play downhill. So you got to pick and choose when you can double him and when you can't. And, at times run away from him and try to cut him off on the backside. So you've got that. And then offensively, those guys have been running the same kind of schemes, the same offense for years. So when you take one thing away, they already have the answer, ready in there. They've practiced it. They know it. So as soon as you take this away, they know they have this. So that's another cat and mouse game that Coach Brinkley gets to play with their offensive coordinator on, when we change our front, when we run this certain stunt, because they've got tendencies and we've got tendencies, and it's all, we know each other so well when it comes to that kind of stuff. So you've definitely got to mix it up defensively, because they want to run the football. They're about 75% run, but they're so efficient at doing it. And then their quarterback's a really good athlete that when they go play action, because their run game's so good, they get people open, and then he gets on the edge on his bootlegs and rollouts, and he can hurt you with his legs. So it's they're as much as they do run it, they're very balanced offensively, if that makes sense. They can throw it and will throw it to keep you honest, and the quarterback's legs make the whole thing go for those guys.
Now, is this the same quarterback that we saw last year?
Yes,
okay,
it is.
So
yep.
you got that working against you as well. Now the running back that they had last year, I think it was a senior. I don't think he's returned. So.
No, thank God.
Yeah. Well, I wasn't sure, but I'm sure they've got somebody.
But don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
The second running back they used, I think, carried it 10 or 15 times. In that game last year is back. Phenomenal running back, runs hard, does a great job reading his blocks. Because again, even when you stop the player, get the block stopped, the running back does a great job with his vision of getting downhill and getting those guys 3 yards. So you've got to try to get him tackled at the line of scrimmage, because he runs hard and gets the extra couple yards that end up being the difference in punting and first downs.
Happy that this is a home game, too. It's going to be great after two road games to open up over here at Bulldog Field. And I wanted to remind you that before the game kicks off, swing by the 102.7 FM swag table and score your very own free KPGZ megaphone. Yeah, right here. Here you go, Coach. That's show the world. Show your team spirit. Make some noise. Supplies are limited, so get yours before they're gone, courtesy of your hometown radio station, 102.7 FM. You can also pick up, there it is, Minnick Money. Check it out. This coupon to Stitch of the Time is good for $5 off any purchase of $25 or more, and you can enter it for a grand prize of Bulldog gear like bleacher chairs. Wow, I want one of those. Stadium sack, shirts, jackets, and hats, all worth over $500. We'll announce that winner during the October 24th game when we play the Excelsior Springs Tigers. So that's a thing that highly recommend it, and that's some good gear, folks. And really, all you got to do is step up and get your Minnick money, and enter this, because it's. I think. Let me just put it this way. I think you'll have a pretty good chance of. Brian's shaking his head. Yes, I'm just saying. So get on that thing. What else, Kelly? Help me. I used up all my energy.
Yeah, the only thing I was going to mention is Kearney softball also currently ranked #1 in the state and have a big game today in Winnetonka. They're undefeated in conference play, looking to win their 4th straight conference title. It would also be their 4th straight district title if they go on to do that. That game is not being broadcast. It's an away game, but we tune in for 102.7 FM softball broadcast as well.
Pretty cool. Thank you, Kelly. That's a wrap. All right. Okay, we're going to wrap this thing up. Oh yeah, tomorrow night. Do not forget Intercept Fiber. Intercept Fiber brings you game day. The Kearney Bulldogs versus the Green Valley Eagles, and the Eagles. Hopefully, we don't want the Eagles to be flying. No. We don't want any part of that. So get out there. I know you will be. It's going to be another great night for football, and just a terrific season, and the momentum that this is the 6th game, folks. That's how quickly time gets by. Coach, we wish you all the best, and we will see you all out there at the stadium on Friday night. Thanks so much for being with us on the Coach Minnick Show. We'll see you next week.